What is going on, Lucid fans? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to talk to you on Lucid's marketing. For the most part, it's been fairly good in the past, some room for improvement in some regard, but right now, Lucid is missing out on the opportunity of a lifetime. So I want to share that with you and get your opinion on that. Before I get into any of that though, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe is always greatly appreciated. With that, let's get right to it. So like I said, for the most part, marketing has been fairly good in the past. More recently was the launch event. So clearly they did spend a lot of time and resources on this launch event. And there's been a lot of good kind of situations like this, a lot of good PR events. So marketing has been on point in those regards. But then there is some things coming from an investor standpoint that makes you question, was this actually beneficial? More recently, there was this. So Lucid was the pace car in the Lululemon 10K run in Houston. So us being a pace car, yeah, it's a very beautiful vehicle, but did this bring up demand? Did this make people want to buy a Lucid because of this exact same thing? Answer, majority of which is probably going to be no. So unfortunately, I think Lucid does do a lot of these random events that I don't think brings Lucid any potential revenue or benefit in the grand scheme of things. Whereas if Lucid was to participate, for instance, in a car event, that is a lot more beneficial because we usually do get a lot of good articles and awards because of participating in these car events. So I would rather us continue to do those car events rather than these kind of pace car scenarios. So just once again, my own interpretation. One negative of Lucid and their marketing is Jeff Curry. So he's the current VP of Marketing and Communications. And this isn't the first time I do bring up Jeff. I personally feel that he isn't necessarily that good of an asset for Lucid because when it comes down to Lucid's marketing, it all falls down on the VP. And right now, in my opinion, they are missing out on the opportunity of a lifetime, like I mentioned. And this video was actually fully prompted by an individual, someone who posted PLLC. So he's definitely posted a lot of good comments on a lot of videos in the past for Lucid. And he brings up one thing that I personally am very excited about that I never really thought of it from a marketing standpoint. And what is coming out in a couple days? Well, it is the World Cup in Qatar. So that is a huge, big thing for the world generally. And keep in mind though, Saudi Arabia is participating, US is participating, a lot of European countries are all participating. So Lucid being able to potentially market at the World Cup would be astronomical. And when it comes down to Qatar, I'm going to be fully honest, I did not know too much about it. I did know where it was located, which obviously is right beside Saudi Arabia, but potentially I didn't know what it did. Was it a rich country, poor country? Where did it fall in the grand scheme of things? So I did have to Google that. So Qatar, a major oil exporting world center, is the world's third richest country. So after reading that, made me think, does Lucid potentially not know if Qatar is a rich country? Why are they not advertising in the World Cup? Because based on the stats, based on, as you can see here, World Cup 2022 marketing, it looks like in 2018, there was a grand total of roughly about 3.5 billion viewers. And so when it comes down to that, plain and simple, if you have an amazing product with a very rich oil country very close to Saudi Arabia that technically, once that facility is built, could easily just export it there, that is a perfect opportunity for marketing. And more so as well, based on Google searches, it is estimated to surpass the 2018 results by 80%. So we're going to have, give or take, probably about 7 billion views that is watching the World Cup. That if Lucid does market during that time frame or advertise, imagine the benefit to that. And ultimately, like I said, especially more so in a rich oil country, and even technically this is being worldwide broadcasted, that would be astronomical. That would be the best thing of putting your name out there, showcasing your vehicle, far better than any pace car in a Lululemon run would ever ever do. So let me know your thoughts on that. Definitely hats off to PLLC for bringing that up. And when it comes down to the World Cup, me particularly, I'm very much excited about that. So whether you call it soccer, football, or whatever it is. And when it comes down to Lucid and maybe Jeff Curry, maybe he's just a football guy or American football guy, if you want to call it that, and he doesn't like soccer potentially. Maybe that's why they're not really interested in the World Cup. I'm not sure. So let me know your thoughts on that, and also if you are excited about the World Cup as well. So at the end of the day, I think given the circumstances, especially more so with the launch event, we have all the vehicles ready for distribution for the most part. And so as you can see, just looking on their website, so the 𝗪𝗓𝗏 Touring now delivering, so potentially we could advertise on any different front and almost ship the vehicles almost straight away. So the 𝗪𝗓𝗏 Touring is there, the Touring, and also technically the Pure were just recently announced and launched and things like that, and the Pure is going to be a very big asset going forward for 2023 and so forth. So I think their lineup is astronomical, and I think we can definitely capitalize on the World Cup. And over and above that though, it's actually not too late for Lucid to kick that in and start advertising in the World Cup, whether it be just online or just maybe some pop-up studios. That would be absolutely epic if Lucid was to do one of those pop-up studios instead of a random mall in the States or somewhere like that. If they did it outside of a stadium, imagine the PR around that. And then there's also the Dream Edition. One thing as far as that I've noticed is, why do they not update their website for the Dream Edition? Because it says reservations closed. It doesn't refer to the P or the R Edition, which is designated for Europe. They haven't really touched on that, and that's something that I was really curious and have been curious for the last little bit. Then there's the Air Sapphire. So even if they plop a Air Sapphire outside of every arena in Qatar, imagine the PR. I think that's definitely going to be a lot better, like I said, than almost any advertising that they've done. So let me know your thoughts on that. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up and subscribe. It's always greatly appreciated. If you do like my channel, want to support the growth, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom of the screen. With that said, appreciate you guys watching. Let's all make a lot of money on Lucid.